Vila Beckonini, Rabbi from Another Planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. So, I had an interesting idea. I never read either Doom Patrol or Grant Morrison's Doom Patrol or The Boys when they first came out. And I just watched both shows this year, and I think The Boys especially I thought was a fantastic show. I would say The Boys is the second best show of 2019. The first being Chernobyl. So I thought that was a good time to go back and read the comics and compare them. So I've long had this theory that the first time you encounter a thing, whatever it is, the medium that you encounter it in is your favorite. It's the that you go away thinking that's the best version. Like I saw the initial version, the American version of Shameless before I saw the British version. I can't watch the British version. I find it unwatchable. Where I find the American version, up until the last few years, just completely captivating. And if you're American, I'm going to blow your mind right now. Archie Bunker and Sanford and Son, I think All in the Family, are all remakes of British TV shows in around the late 50s and the 60s in the TV industry in America. They would buy scripts wholesale from England and just reshoot them with American cast. And so Sanford and Son was initially called Steptoe and Son in England. Archie Bunker was Alf Garnett. The show was called In Sickness and in Health. And All in the Family. I can't remember what All the Family was called. But, it's fascinating because they also did it with 40 Towers. With B. Arthur playing the Basil Fawlty role. And that was just awful. So I'm going to amend that theory a little bit and say that it's the first medium you encounter it in that does a good job representing it. That's my theory. So I read The Boys today. I'm on issue 6 or 7. I got the trade paperback. I'm on issue 6 or 7. I have to say, I think all the changes they made were for the better. I think it's entirely successful. And again, I know people who read The Boys initially, and then sort of they're aghast at some of the changes. But I did think it works better. I think it makes it a more realistic and believable piece. Firstly, I never understood why Simon Pegg was in it, and now Simon Pegg was the person they modelled the main character Huey on. So yeah, he's in it as a nod. I think it's better in the comic. He's Scottish. I think it works. I did think it works better for a American audience, also an international audience to have that character be American. I found Starlight's character be far more believable, and like the whole Me Too assault on her to be far more credible in the TV show. And like in the comic book, it's Homelander who I don't put it lightly, asked her for sexual favors, and then a couple of other people in the group. I think it worked better. I think having the reveal of Homelander being the bad guy later on in the season. There are spoilers, of course, but if you haven't already seen it, I'm sorry, I kind of spoiled it for you. I better put it in the title or the show notes or something, or the video notes. I thought the race swapping of A-Train worked a lot better. I haven't got to the point where they had who was it, Elizabeth Shue's character in the comic yet, I think. But she was changed. Somebody was changed from being a man to a woman. Again, I just think these changes made it a better show. I mean, honestly, my biggest disappointment with The Boys is that it's a show that Powers should have been. Now, Powers is a fantastic comic book by Brian Michael Bendis at closer to the beginning of his career, pre Marvel, and it has the same like realism with superheroes that they tried to make a TV show of it a couple of times. They tried a pilot that never got past the pilot, and then they did 2 seasons on the PlayStation Network, and they were really and they cast it pretty well, apart from the main character, which was cast horribly. And it just never worked. So it was really a shame that this wasn't that show. Also, by the way, if Brian Michael Bendis did around the same time, a couple of years later, Alias, which they made Jessica Jones out of, which was so much better than the TV show. It was just so much better. And the reason it was so much better than the TV show is because the you had that that wonderful Marvel comic book world going on in the background, while she was in these like really gritty, like in part of in the comic she dates Ant-Man, and bringing Paul Rudd into that would have been fantastic. Um, but in the TV show of Jessica, which I've only seen the first season of, they don't even explain the powers. It's just they've all got these magical powers for no really explainable reason. They don't set it in that Marvel universe, which I think was a shame. But again, we're comparing the Boys comic with the Boys TV show. Again, I think just every change they made in the TV show made it stronger. So I'm only 4 issues into Doom Patrol. I got the first trade of that. And okay, my first impression was the art. The art is just horrible. Oh my gosh! Look, okay, I write and draw comics, and I don't want to be too self-deprecating and say I'm a mediocre artist. I'm not really an artist. I'm much more of a writer, and the only reason I draw is because I have a rough idea what I'm doing, and I don't want to pay for an artist. Um, None of the art I've seen in those first 4 issues I would accept from myself, or if I was like writing it and I was editing it, I just wouldn't accept this art. It's shockingly bad. Uh, which again, it was done in the late. It was what, 89, I think it came out. The comic, but so far, I mean so far the writing, the early Grant Morrison, but towards the end of the 4th issue, you're really getting into the same flavor of the TV show. So I'm going to keep on reading. I've got the Doom Patrol trade is big. It's like 16 issues, and the boys trade is also like 14 issues. So I'm gonna keep reading, and I'm gonna come back with a follow-up video when I'm done. And then give a more of a general comparison. But again, so my theory of the first medium that you watch something in being your favorite, I just think this kind of bears that out. I kind of believe it, but as long as that first medium does a good job in representing it, like I guess if you saw the Lord of the Rings movies before you read the book will just seem like a really good novelization of the book. Actually, which is interesting. I was so disappointed with the final season of Game of Thrones. I started. I'm not a massive reader. I started reading the first Game of Thrones book, and again, it feels like a fantastically fleshed out novelization of the TV show. Yeah, and if you're into that sort of thing, by the way, the later Target books from the Doctor Who range really have that same feeling. The Ben Aronovich stories, what was it, Remembrance of the Daleks and Battlefield, both work much better in his novelization than it did they did on screen. And Remembrance of the Daleks was a real great episode. Anyway, I meandered all over the place. I'm comparing the comics to the TV shows, and the TV shows coming out pretty much as good or better. The Boys, certainly I'm enjoying much more than the comic. I think it's not the comic's bad, just the TV show is much more subtle and intelligent. And if you've seen the TV show, you know it's not really known for being subtle and intelligent. Doom Patrol, I think, is pretty much equal to the TV show right now. It's keeping me reading. Funny thing about Doom Patrol, I think the thing that really made that show was Brendan Fraser's performance. He is Robot Man. I mean, I can't read it without his voice now. That's a really sign of a great performance, and it is a fantastic performance. Fine, my name is Sheila Beckley, Rabbi from Another Planet. Please like, share, and subscribe. Let me know what you think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? And ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. And please subscribe. I'm over 100 subs now. Let's get to 200. That'll be crazy. Thanks so much for listening.